What's up, mateys? This is Gary Scouts in Pirates of the Caribbean film series, Captain Simon Perryman. Today is the last day of 2019. This is gonna be at about Tuesday, December 31st, 2019. So the last day of 2019 of the mid 2010s, 365 days on 3,652 days. Only things we wanted to say goodbye to the thank you for 2010s within about 3,652 days. So I'm gonna have to recalculate this. So I was gonna see this. So we get a lot of the opportunity to do. So we get the calendar just like the math of what we're gonna do. Just about maybe most of the streaming what we could. So like I said, just about 4 weeks later, just about 4 weeks, in January 2010. So that's about 4 weeks and 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And that's the call 2010. 9 weeks in 2010. And that's to make way. And that's the case that's what we're talking about. So it is hard to debate together. Wanted to say goodbye to you but anybody else. So thanks to the 2010s. So all I have to do just check everything out. So however we check everything in. So checked into about important at all times. So I probably didn't miss 2010 something. We wanted to thank anybody else to wanted to say thanks for the apologies that accepting. So basically everything else where we in the most extremely could. So we make it to 520 weeks. Then that's the case to the call mid 2010s, 3,652 days. So let's go to check this out in about these plans at about a couple of these weeks. So even thought 10 years. So ever since then, at about 10 years later. So 2009, 2010s. So making it extremely most exactly where you are. And so what about the weeks to think about most of extremely does. So I could make it about just things at about 120 months. So I can make it this one that about in the mid 2010s through 2019s, 9 years past, 3,652 days, 522 weeks, 120 months. Then I was gonna make this at about 5,258,880 minutes, and I just wanted to make it hundreds and thousands and millions, 350 millions, 532,880 seconds, and 10 years pass. So 3,652 days, 87,648 hours. Just like it says, 5,258,880 minutes. 350 millions and 532,800 seconds. That's the case about 10 years past. So I was gonna say this. So from the math problems, just like high school's class for when I do the math of the first period of six years in the minimum wage. I do too for the last 6 years at about 2013 to 2014 school years. Main thing Canela was a rescheduling today and during the school year on the math recite out of the math today on the first period. So I do the math at about mid 2010s to 2019s. Then I do to about 3,652 days, 522 weeks, and 120 months during the shows. Most cases, when I do to the 9 years pass, that's the case about 10 years pass. So when I do to the 2009 today, so what's gonna make it we reschedule today about the special learns about time. So well, I was gonna say math problems about 2009. So that case at about one year at about 2009. For that case is about 2009. That case at about 2009. It's 365 days, and the plus one does it two times, equally 365 plus 365 equals 730. 2009 to 2010, and we go to 2011, and 365 days is the third quarter is at about 1,095 days, and let's go to 2012 and 360 days, and just a plus about the characters, and in the 2009s through 2019 and 10 years past, then we make it about 1,461 days. That's a pass at about the 3 years ago, and we make problems. So we're making the minimum wage about 3 years away. 3 years past. That's where we guys making about 4 years past. So let's go to 2013 and 365 days, and plus we go to the 4-year minimum wage is 1,826 days. That's the way to go. That one is about about 4 years past. That's the case at about 2009 through 2013 after doing the 4 years mortgage. And that's a couple of ways about 1,826 days. 26 days. So let's go to the 2014. So we're making the problems. And that's a call of the 5 years past. And that's where we get into the diversity we do. So that's just like 365 times 5, just equally. So you do know what problem is. So and that's what they call 2,191 days to the 5 years of mortgage, so 2009 through 2014. So let's go into the 6 years. Let's go to the 6 years in the mortgage. So I don't want it to remember. I don't remember that about when I went to the I went to the 8th to the 12th grade this year. So but I probably do the same in the moments of 2019 for doing the math calculated for go solve problems. That's where we're gonna make it in about 6 years past. So I was gonna say let's go to see this one about the self problems for the 6 years. Do you know which this is? If that's the case of the simple problem, that's the case of simple or yes in the correct answer. That case is about 2,556 days and 2009 through 2015. So that's where he goes to. Then and that's where they're gonna solve problems. So just like you guys went to elementaries, junior highs, high schools, and including college and university, as long as you can afford your fortune should be recalculated with your phone and your iPads and calculation for the math and problems to make it would be calculated recreated on mid 2010s, mid 2009s through 2019s. That's to make it during the 10 years. So let's go to the 7 years. Okay, there we go. And that's where the case problem is. So and that's where you're gonna see this one. So I was gonna check this out about 7 years past. Do you guys want to see this? How to make it about the math? Everything could be the time. It could be about 360, about the 200 then for the times. Do you know which it is? And that's which it means to. That's a call you guys at about 2,922 days. That's what the correct answer, guys. So that's where you make it the 7 years. That's where you make it 7 years, 2009, and through 2016. That's what make it. That's what make it the solve problems, and that's what make it the work engagement of solving problems. So, and that's where you guys work in the environment after the 2,922 days. That's where you get the work in mortgagement and the engagement about 7 years. That's during about 2,922 days, and that's to the 7 years a long time. So, and that's where you're going to spend a whole time about 7 years past. So, let's go to the 8 years past. Do you know where this is? I'm gonna have to show you about everything, anytime you should have the problems, useful for everything could be passed. I used to get about the past 8 years. So I was in 14 to 22 years old. So my dad and I, Frankie and Bella, just stay with the family for 3,287 days. My aunt actually Erica and Benny and uncle and my uncle and aunt. So and my friends gonna hang around about just during the lunch times at about just about 8 years ago. So which she knows we're gonna have to show you. For that, what's the two? That's for the 8 years in the mortgage. That's one of the mortgage at about 3,287 days, 8 years past 2009 through 2017. 3,387 days. Like it says, 8 years past, just more and more than the time. So let's go to two more things in about 365 days to more. So there. Do you know what the simple word? Do you know what you're gonna have to the simple means to? So and that's how you make it to before your mortgage. What we're gonna do is about 10. Is about almost at about 9 years ago. 9 years past. So do you know what a mortgage is? When you do have to solve problems, you're gonna guys do two more things to show you about two more to go. So let's hope we get to say this. And that's what how to make a math. So that's what I make self problems and simple means two, and that's what we make it about 3,600, 3,652 days and 9 years passed. So that's where you guys sort of spend a life and about friends and family together about 3,652 days and 9 years passed. Before even the 9 years self engaged self mortgage. So that's a whole time, and that's a whole opportunity, and that's the whole approach, and that's the whole that's what it called 9 years past to the 3,652 days. So let's go to the continue on one more thing about 30 365 more. So let's gonna have to see this. So I'm gonna have to show you in the 2009 through 2019, so 10 years. Let's gonna have to show you what you're about to do years ago. Do you know where is this? Excuse me. That's after the simple means two. For that, what's the add up? That's what's the total days after the 10 years in the mortgage. So 4,017 days and much of the times. So if you do have to the gauge, if you do have about 554 days, so I was gonna say this oh man, so that's gonna call 10 years later. So that's a call 4,017 days ago. I don't know how to say this then. So I believe it's about 10 years later. So I believe it's about 10 days later. So that's my point. That was what my point is. So and that's where we guys here today. So everything about time. So that's why I'm born in 1995. So for 0, I have to call 1 month, and just a couple of times where you guys to when you get there. So I do a lot of good things about the whole opportunity and the whole time. So I did a lot of good things in the time. So I do wanted to believe you guys to wanted to say everything you could have agree with you. So I was gonna have to surprise you guys. So bam, 1, 2. Okay. That's where you make it about. That's where we can make it about 10 years past, 4,017 days, and about 120 months. 12 months in 2009, 12 months in 2010 as in 24, 2011 is about 36, and 2012 sort of 12 months to the 48 months, and 2013 is about 60 months, and 2014 it is 72 months, 2015 is 84 months, 2016 and 96 months later for 7 months, and 108 months in 8 years past. 11 years passed, so those engaged at about 10 years past at 4,017 days. So we make the issues about 2010s, 2011, 2013, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19. So 9 years passed, 3,652 days. I actually wanted to say, I gotta say this, so the correct answer is 9 years passed. Let's go to have to see it is. And that was 3,652 days. So that's a call 10 years, including just like 9 years past, to do equally. Wanted to do two and about whereabouts. Wanted to know to say 3,652 days due to about in about 9 years past. So as long as we get it at about 9-year anniversary on the mid 2010s through 2019s, I want you to know about the make and map good problems. Use one or two those classes. So tell teachers in about 3,652 days due to about 9 years, including 10 years, to do equally 11 years about 4,017 days, 132 months later. So from now on, we make it issues. So today it's a time to tribute to announce to the goodbyes of 2010s. So I want you guys know to say farewell to 2010. To wanted to read reaction there to the timelines on 2011, 2010s, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and now to 2019. I barely do. So, before I notice this, if you mostly just read the book in about 2010s, so just like the chapter of the characters, so even I thought about 3,652 days, 120 months, 522 weeks, so that's once about 10 years past. So if I thought about, I was 15 through 25, thought about 14 and 24. So I've been there about 20. I've been there about since then I was at about 9 years past. So, but I thought about 10 years. I could you guys to read this math to we calculate it for what I was at about iPad, the phone. So I didn't go to the college class. So we talked about this. So we talked about just thousands, hundreds and days. So only you can make it about 10 years. Eventually concluded about 3,652 days due to mostly extremely most. Before you do, I would say we can respect to would announce to you wanted to the same for you about it for you guys. So wanted to know to say goodbye to for the mid 2010s. So those people are sad to say goodbye. So it could be hard or it could be easy or hard. So it's also we agree. Also we agreed to go to the 2020. And we thought about mostly about 9 years. So which you would think? Do you think it about 10 years past? So which means I thought about make it over again January 1st, 2010 through now December 31st, 2019. 3,652 days, 9 years. 9 years. only make it about total of 10 years. So I could miss my friends and family so much to a long time. So even thought about Jordan Lake Todd and her husband and her family, her sister, her mom and dad, Kelsey Tree, her fiance Ryan Knowlton, her mom and dad, her brother or sister, and her former dog. She's sad. It's sad to say goodbye to wanted the prayer for peace, to serve Him of the Lord, to say Amen. So Kelsey, Jordan, Ryan, Sharia, Maddie, and Lauren. So I want you to guys know to wanted to think about those in a long time misfortunes in about 3,652 days for 9 years have passed. Conclusion of 10 years. Only things to make the whole time the whole learn. So for thank you for learning about some hangouts and socialize and helping the pride, ownership, warmth, earn the respect to make it the policy to wanted to talk to privacy to wanted to say goodbye mid 2010s. So this is 2019 goodbye. So ever since then I was 14. I've been at exercise in about 10 years. I usually miss Lauren. She moved to the Tustin School District in Arizona. She's gonna miss Mrs. Kelly for Fuji during high school. She's still on paraeducator. Mrs. Belford, Mr. Coleman. She's former Fuji Junior High School. His classroom. Leifson, Spicer, Baxter, and Mrs. Belford. So they're pretty sad to say goodbye from Miss Lauren. So I missed her. I missed her so much. So, but I probably due to the reaction to the timeline of 2000s, 2010s, then even thought 19 years later, 2000 through 2019. Make it problems, make it time, make it strong as many as you can. So don't do anything about stupendous. So it's a pretty bad decision. So be good with respect. All these years at about 2020. This is gonna be at about 66 days, 2020 and 2021, 365 days, and 2022, 365 days, and 2023, 365 days. That should be it. So I want you to guys know to say goodbye. Wanted to those to show you guys about the opportunity the whole time. So we miss you 2010s. I love you. People love you. And all around the world loves you. So time in 2019 is over. So do not forget to hit the button to subscribe to my contest. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Vine Cameras, Cocker Story, Cocker Talk, Tumblr, and like the comments and link in the description. So just subscribe on 2020 on the return of the crazy boyfriend, Marathon Tornado, and Majorga Nuggets. That's gonna be the last day of YouTube. That's where it works. That's where issues about 13 years in the mortgage. So. And Jesse's believes that she's going to be working about mortgage. So, probably about the billions of views, his YouTube channels. And that's what you're going to think. just please subscribe on Big Brother, Georgie Starbarger, Larry's Lounge, Joe Bum, Psycho Dad, Jeffrey Ridgway Sr., and Teresa Ridgway as Psycho Mom as they continue on the characters, and Tom Abraham Ronda Rousey from former UFC to the WWE superstars after the Total Divas on E. Please everyone to subscribe on the 2010s. Make more from the memories there. Please feel free to the timeline of 2010s. Don't forget, so keep it regimented. So thank you so much 2019 to 365 days. So thank you for the 3,652 days. We missed you so much. We all gonna miss you 2010s. Thank you so much. Goodbye.